You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, and we're going to dive into some news and rumors around America's team here. We'll begin with the rumors side of things because the meltdown continues for Dallas about trading for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who says no? I say no. I don't like this idea. Fake news on this one for me. Frankly, I think it's stupid. There's no way around it for me. Now, I get the argument behind it. Well, hey, you're competing for the NFC East. Ryan Fitzpatrick, is probably better than Andy Dalton and probably fits a banged-up offensive line better than Dalton does. But here's my argument against this. What is the purpose of doing this? So that you can win the NFC East with 7 wins, if you're lucky, and then go one and done in the postseason and hurt your draft stock? Why buy when the team, because of the injuries in large part, is not good right now? You were not having much success because your defense was terrible with Dak Prescott. You think you're going to have success with Ryan Fitzpatrick? There will be some games where it's Fitzmagic, but then you'll have a lot of Fitztragic games. Now, if you can give me a 1-for-1 Dalton for Fitz swap, sure, why not? But I don't know why the Dolphins would do that, right? Over the past 4 years, now Dalton has thrown about 300 more passes because he's been starting more frequently than Fitzpatrick has. Look, Fitzpatrick offers you more big plays and more mistakes as well, a little bit more accurate in terms of completion percentage, but it's not a massive game-changing upgrade. So if I'm the Cowboys, I have to be honest with where I view this team. And the Joneses might say that they like their guys, but a swap of Dalton to Fitzpatrick doesn't fix this team. It doesn't make them that much better. So at that point, let's be aware. Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick probably a better quarterback, but not compared to Dalton, whatever pick you would give up to get him. So you guys can get your votes in here. Who would you rather have, RF or AD? In a bubble, yes, Fitzpatrick. Since I have to trade for him, nah, I'll stick with the red rifle, Andy Dalton. Now again, trade deadline coming up here. So buying in general, I'll give this 1 star. There is an exception I'll get to here in just a second. But despite the Cowboys being the NFC leaders, and even though they've been aggressive in recent years because they think they can make a push, the Amari Cooper trade really saved things for the team at the time being, I don't think this team is as good as that team was back in 2018. The only way I think you should even consider being buyers at the deadline is if you happen to find and are able to add cheap young players who help in the long term. Now, there aren't many of those out there, which is why despite, again, somehow leading the NFC East, well, at least for the time being, I should say, don't chase empty wins. Don't chase an empty division title at the cost of your future. The injuries are a thing. It sucks. I know it's annoying, but trading just to buy and win a bad division doesn't actually help you out in the long run. Now, the exception here is around a player like Quinnen Williams. I, of course, wanted to mention this one, right? There's a report out there. And again, I'm not sure I buy the report. Kind of seem to blur the lines between opinion and actual reporting if you actually read it from The Athletic. That the Jets would take a second for Quinnen. Now, there hasn't been much interest so far. Folks, you guys know that I liked Quinnen Williams coming out of Alabama a lot. You offer the second rounder right now. You pick up the phone, you call Joe Douglas, who you kind of burned some bridges with over the Jamal Adams stuff, which isn't great, but okay. You say, hey, 2021 second-round pick, might be top 50, might be top 40. You would win a bidding war for anything less than a first-round pick. And now, again, I think that Quinnen is worth more. I think if he is traded, he would go for more. But yeah, the Cowboys, you would be stupid not to go explore, at least try to get Quinnen Williams. Outside of that, though, I am selling at this trade deadline. This will be the pinned comment on today's video because I do want to hear your guys' votes. Type B for buy or type S for sell. Let's talk offensive line now here. Connor Williams. Does moving him to tackle make a lot of sense? There is an argument behind it. I'm still going to give it the 1 star. The reasons/excuses for why I've been against it continue to ebb and flow. On one hand, I get it. Hey, the Cowboys, look, they just lost Brandon Knight for a few games. The tackle position has been a disaster. Maybe you want to see what he can do. The problem is that, A, you're going to get Cam Irving back in theory this week, and you might not have Zach Martin, so your plan of putting Connor McGovern at left guard might not be possible this week. If Martin comes back next week, we can reevaluate. But also, I value consistency for an offensive lineman. I think that matters. And Connor Williams, if you're going to put him at tackle for a handful of games and then put him back at guard, what's the purpose there? If you want to make Sewell and give him a shot to be your long-term left tackle, let's try it. That's a different conversation. I don't think the Cowboys are there, though, right now. And to be quite honest, you guys might not want to hear it, but Williams' past couple games, they've actually been really good. Now, maybe it looks better because the guys around him get beat so quickly, but the pressure rate has plummeted for Sewell. He was trash against the LA Rams, 8.5% pressure rate, which means every 8.5% of the snaps, he gets beat and beat badly. Didn't allow a single pressure against the Cardinals and the Giants. That's passing game focused. He's always been a better pass protector than he's been a run blocker, but the run blocking is also getting better for Connor Williams. I think that matters. The past 4 games or so, maybe 3 games for Sewell has been actually pretty good. And if that continues, you probably feel good about at least one spot on the offensive line, so maybe you don't want to break that. Tougher test, of course, coming up for him against Washington, a very good defensive line. And you can bet on that game with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code that you see on your screen. That is Cowboys125. It'll get you a 125% deposit bonus. So what that means is you put down $100, boom, extra 125 coming your way. And on top of that, when you use our link and promo code and put down $100 for the rest of the month, we'll hook you guys up with a Cowboys jersey. Only available for new BetUS customers. A lot of you guys have already taken advantage. If you haven't, I know we got a lot of emails to respond to. We'll take care of you. Email us, cowboys@chatsports.com. We'll put that email link in the description and the comments as well. Only available for new BetUS customers. Injury talk here. How about Sean Lee? Is his return coming soon? I think that it is. 3 stars on this one. The update for Lee is that he's kind of working his way back here after his core muscle surgery. We got the details on this. They had to reattach his abdomen to his pelvic bone. That sounds incredibly painful. Like, obviously, I'm nowhere near as tough as Sean Lee is, but I think if that was the surgery I needed, I'd probably just call it a career and say, well, we had a good run. I don't want to really go through all of that. But he's working his way back. Now, the exact date, not yet known. Maybe the Cowboys try and take it precautionary and give him till the bye week for him to return. But when he's been healthy, Sean Lee has been an awesome linebacker in the NFL. In fact, if it wasn't for the injuries, potential homer take here, I think he'd go down as one of the greatest of his generation at the position. He was that good. Now, if and when you get Sean Lee back, that comes in addition to the already return of Leighton Vander Esch. So Jalen Smith has been up and down, I will say generously there. Leighton Vander Esch showed some flashes, but didn't quite look 100% back in a really overall terrible showing again by the defense against the Arizona Cardinals. I'd like to get Sean Lee back out there. There's been confusion with this defense in terms of getting lined up, getting aligned properly, passing off coverages. I'd be lying if I said that Sean Lee didn't at least help that a little bit. So I like to get him back. The exact timeline still not yet known. Now, whenever Sean Lee comes back, hey, we'll let you guys know because we cover everything around America's team here at the Cowboys Report, and it's all for free. We don't charge you anything, no subscription. All you have to do is just click the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and you'll get free videos every single day on America's team. So if you're part of the, it's down to about 48% now who watch the show but aren't actually subscribed, let's get that changed. Subscribe today. Let's talk coaching staff here. Mike McCarthy, is he going to be one and done? I think these next 2 games are pivotal for him because if you drop another set of games against bad NFC East teams, that's going to be a tough sell to the Joneses. Now, Albert Breer makes a great point that Jerry Jones has always been patient, and it's always been at least 2 years, even as bad as some of those quick triggers were for the Cowboys coaching staffs back after Jimmy Johnson left. Jones was patient. But for McCarthy, you saw the anonymous player quotes come out. Now, I think McCarthy's experienced enough to handle that and get things going for his team and back on track. But if you lose the locker room, you're cooked. You're done. You're not going to be able to get that back without totally overhauling the roster. And that's not really something that NFL teams truly do unless it's a full-fledged rebuild, which you don't make it through. So the Cowboys, these next 2 games, they're massive. Washington, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh week 9. I don't think they fire him in the middle of the season. That'd be a pretty big stunner to me. Maybe around week 10 you see some assistant coaches get swapped out at the end of the year too. I think because of the injuries, which really did kind of doom this team from a start since they continue to go on, I think that buys McCarthy more time. But I do want to hear from you guys here as well. What should the Cowboys do? F for fire or K for keep? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I'll include waiting as the keep side, at least for the time being, but I understand the frustration because the Cowboys have simply not been as good as we thought they were going to be. Free agent talk now, because every time player gets cut, it's like, Cowboys sign him? Yeah. Quinn Spain, the guard here, cut by the Bills, 2 stars on this one. It makes some sense, but also at the same time, does it really? Now, in terms of just adding a good football player, yep, no-brainer. I would explore it. Zach Martin's banged up. You're thin on the interior of the offensive line. I would certainly explore it. The reason it's not higher than 2, and the reason I almost made it 1 star, if you're Quinton Spain, you just got cut by a contending team in the Buffalo Bills. So you want to go to one of 2 spots, right? A place where you can play the most, or B, go to a place that's going to win. If we're being honest here, the Cowboys are neither. Because even if Zach Martin misses this week, he should be good to go next week. That'd be by the time Quinton Spain gets cleared. You're not going to start Spain over Williams or Martin unless you want to kick Williams out the tackle, which maybe that works. But also, there are better teams with a bigger need at guard, like the Chicago Bears, for example. Desperately need a new guard right now. They can offer a little bit more playing time, better career success by entering free agency after having earned a starting job, and a better football team with a better supporting cast on the offensive line. I like the idea. I'd explore it. I'm just not convinced it makes enough sense for either party involved. Let's go to some news here. Dez Bryant seems set to join the Baltimore Ravens. He was once the 4 stars here at the Cowboys Report because he caught it. But the Ravens plan to sign Dez to the team's practice squad. This does require his upcoming workout and physical with the team to go well, go according to plan, and then we'll see if he's able to make an impact probably in November at the earliest for the Baltimore Ravens on their practice squad. That's the plan right now for Dez. Speaking of Dez, did he catch it? Look, we are a democracy. We're a republic here. We allow everyone to vote. So get your votes in here. We will let the people decide. Did Dez Bryant catch it? It's a simple Y for yes or Y for yes because Dez caught it. I'm not going to hear anything otherwise. It's my show. No N votes allowed. Dez caught it. The NFL officials screwed the Cowboys in that game. I have watched that video, that play, at this point thousands of times, and I still don't understand how they ruled it incomplete. The ball didn't really hit the ground. It never actually lost possession. It was ridiculous, a trash call. Get your Y's in here on the show. Producer Brett says I'm wrong. You're wrong, Brett. All right, Stephen Parker here. Promoted to the active roster for the Dallas Cowboys. He was part of the safety rotation these past 2 games back when he was on the practice squad. However, you're only allowed to promote a player from the practice squad to the active game day roster 2 times. There was clearly a role the Cowboys were envisioning for Stephen Parker. As a result, he goes to the active roster. Aldon Smith, who had been released earlier this week, now takes his place on the practice roster. They just pretty much swap those 2 guys in. And I would anticipate that you see Parker continue to play a more limited role in terms of being a backup secondary player. Mike McCarthy said he wanted all of the 48 players on the active game day roster to play about 10 snaps per game, which I hate because he's not playing Bradley and I 10 snaps per game, but whatever. I digress there. So you should see Parker out there. He's been a Jag. Jag equals just a guy for explanation there. Ain't nothing special. But you know what? The Cowboys like their current guys, and that's why Parker gets the promotion to the active roster.